Awesome. We're going to get set up here for our next panel, which is going to be hosted by my colleague Mike Nagel, who heads up our customer and product marketing here at EverTrue. Going to be talking about flipping the funnel and embracing our donor journey with some awesome marketing experts who Mike will be introducing here too. Mike Nagel and the marketing crew.
Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? We're good? Everyone get enough coffee this morning? You feel like awake, ready for the day? It's gonna be good. See some nodding, a lot of nodding heads, it's good, awesome. This is my third raise, but I didn't get to be on the slide because I've worked for EverTrue for the last 2 of them. But prior to joining EverTrue, I spent 6.5 years at Phillips Exeter Academy up in Exeter, New Hampshire, doing advancement communications and digital marketing for them. So I see a lot of familiar faces from Case, from Raise, from all those places. Ooh, I have a clicker. Yeah. Oh, yeah, cool. That was key. Thank you. And I'm really excited to be joined today by some fellow marketers who are really experts who are leading the for-profit industry. We have some of the best minds in Boston here on stage, and I bring that bar down quite a bit, but I'm excited to be here. So
you have the loudest outfit, though, so you're good. You're good.
That's good.
We got to get you some sneakers, though.
I've got the Puma belt on, actually. I'm wearing a Puma belt and some Puma right there. I used Drift, and I shopped at Wayfair last weekend. So I've covered the gamut of this panel. I made sure that was good. Loud outfits. So Mike, I work at EverTrue, and I went to Ithaca College undergrad. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have each of the panelists introduce themselves. I haven't told you this, but in one word, we'll say where you went to college and what did you get out of that experience in one word, and then you can elaborate on that, and then you can introduce your company, and then we'll move on to the next. So we'll go, I think Courtney's first, then Dave, and then Anne, and we'll go from there. So Courtney, take it away.
Great. Hi, everyone. Really excited to be here. My name's Courtney Lawrie. I'm a director of brand marketing at Wayfair. I went to Colby College. I'm a mule, very proud of it. I would say the one word that I learned is teamwork. So I played Colby women's basketball team at Wayfair. We're a highly collaborative bunch, very matrix organization, so lots of cross-functional work. So teamwork definitely helped out.
Awesome.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, let's talk about Wayfair, and then we'll jump over to Dave, personal info, and Drift.
So for those of you that don't know what Wayfair is, it's the largest home furnishings and decor company, e-commerce retail company, and we carry over 10 million products in our catalog, which is massive. And really our mission's quite simple. We want to transform the way that people shop for their home. We want it to be fun and exciting and not anxiety-driven. We're very proud of the growth that we've had. Here's a quick sort of chart on our growth, and really what I want to highlight is in 2014 when we started persona-centric brand building efforts, that's really when our growth took off.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And being a preferred platform, Wayfair is awesome. You should definitely check it out. You know, I'm going to pass this along to Dave.
Sure. Thanks.
Hit the play button. Introduce yourself, where you went to college, what you got out of it.
I'm Dave Gerhardt. I'm the VP of Marketing at Drift. I'll tell you about Drift in a second. I went to Wagner College. I'm going to choose 2 words. My 2 words are Staten Island for what I learned. The company I work for is called Drift. We are the new way businesses buy from businesses, and what that really means is instead of having to go to a company's website and fill out a form or jump through all these hoops in order to talk to somebody at the company, we help that business optimize for conversations with the real people who are interested in their business. And so one way I think about it a lot is this is a crazy model where if you went to Newbury Street later this afternoon and you walked into a store, what would happen when you walked in that store? Somebody would say, hey, let me know if you have any questions. But for most companies and most business or college, university websites, when you land on that website, this is what happens. Nothing, right? So we're all about helping you have real-time conversations with the people who are most interested in your business, because that's how you and I all want to be treated and communicate with today.
And I should have added EverTrue to that slide.
It's just a nice picture.
Yeah, that's good.
Hi, everyone. My name's Ann Unger. I'm the senior team head of digital marketing at Puma. Hopefully, all of you know what Puma is. We're a sneaker brand, a super fun one. I have a couple of slides, just some in the news pieces. What do I press this?
Yeah, hit the little green button.
All right, so we just launched a new business sector, which is basketball, just a couple weeks ago, which is super exciting, especially in the United States. It makes up a very high percentage of footwear sales. We've got some Jordans here, competitor. I'll get your size later, and then we can talk.
I'm a 10.
You're a 10, okay. But we launched a new shoe that is available this fall, but we did it in a very interesting way, and we'll talk a little bit about leveraging influencers and celebrities, but we partnered with this guy. He's kind of a big deal. He's also married to someone who's kind of a big deal. And he is our creative director for our basketball business. So Jay-Z is kind of behind everything from the creation of the product to the way that we market it. And we're leveraging it from much more of a street style perspective than pure athletics. So it's going to be about the style of the shoe, how you wear it off the court, but it's made with the best technology, so athletes will be wearing it on the court as well. So I have a quick video just so you can get a sense of what our launch event was like. This is actually our Instagram story, so you can see that that is how we're approaching it. There we go.
Ideas for your next campaign launch, annual reception, that would be phenomenal, next level. If you do it, please tweet pictures at us.
Just figure out where Jay-Z went to college. And
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
exactly.
Yeah. School of Hard Knocks. So the title for the session is Flip the Funnel, embracing the donor journey. And we talked a little, Mike set us up really well to talk about this. How many of you have seen like a customer journey or like a marketing funnel? Just a handful, a fair amount. So we're going to be talking a lot about that today. And so what I'm going to turn over to our esteemed guests here is like define the marketing funnel. Like what does that mean to you? What does the customer journey mean to you? And how are you approaching it at your companies so that I can understand?
Yeah, I can kick it off. So at the top of the funnel, we have new prospects, people that don't know anything about Wayfair, and how we talk to them and the stories we tell are very different than folks at the bottom of the funnel, which are true loyalists to Wayfair. And in the middle, you have folks that are maybe lightly engaged but haven't given their email address or haven't placed an order. So we actually look at the funnel at individual customer segments to really dictate what our journey is for each of them.
Yeah, so from a higher ed perspective, the nice thing is everybody who's a graduate knows where they went to college, so you're not building that awareness. So if somebody who's never heard Wayfair before, you already have that, but then driving down in terms of levels of engagement, going towards making a gift, attending an event, becoming a volunteer, or any of the myriad ways that alums can support. How are you guys thinking about it at Drift and Puma?
So I think there's kind of two pieces of this. There's a traditional funnel, which is awareness, interest, desire, action, which I think everybody should know. Even if you're just a basic understanding, I think of it as like dating, right? If you don't go on the first date and immediately propose to somebody, right? There has to be steps in between, and so that's what a funnel is. But I think so much has changed because everybody has a smartphone, everybody's connected to the internet, information is free now, and so to think that people are going to go through some perfectly linear funnel is crazy, and I actually think the funnel is going away. There's different stages of, I might not know what your company does, and so I don't have awareness, but I could show up on your website and be ready to buy or ready to talk to you or ready to send my kid to your school. There's a whole lot that's happened because everybody has access to information now where, in the B2B space for us, we talk about it customers have all the power today, not the company. It used to be there wasn't a lot of information, and so the company could say, hey, I'm gonna tell you about how you have to go through my process. You're gonna do this, and then you're gonna do this, and now none of us wanna deal with that, and that's because we have access to information. If I don't like the experience on your website, I can Google your competitor, go to that website and get an answer, and so as a business today, you have to understand that shift, so we think a lot about how the funnel, the traditional linear steps of a funnel is going away.
I totally agree. I think we think about the funnel in terms of maybe some of our paid media support that, you use different media tactics depending on where someone is in the funnel. But as far as the consumer journey goes, especially with social media these days, there are so many touch points that you can reach your consumer. And so it's not just about you do one thing here and then that gets them to buy. It's about being present across everything. So you need to be present in Instagram, you need to be present in email, you need to, be present at the mall. So I totally agree with you. I feel like it's more of like an ecosystem, and it's really about trying to figure out where your consumers are, where they're consuming content, and reaching them there.
I think that's such an important point because I'm standing in the back and I'm on my phone, and within 10 minutes I went on 7 different apps, right? And so like if you're a marketer, it used to be you had 2 places to reach somebody, right? You could put ads in the newspaper or TV. Today, there's literally 20 different channels in my pocket, and so you have to be everywhere that your potential buyer or customer are today. So.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not, and everybody's funnel, or whether or not it is a funnel, or if it's an hourglass, or it's a whatever the shape is, you're gonna have different stages or different channels that you're trying to attack. And so how are you guys thinking about that? Whether it's social media, whether it's your website, whether it's print catalogs. Like how do you meet the customer or the potential donor, like where they are with your efforts?
I can start. I think we have potentially a little bit of an alternative approach that I think a lot of our competitors are also doing, but we're really investing a lot in celebrities and influencers and athletes because right now, given kind of the way that at least our target demographic, which is like 18 to 24-year-olds, urban people, they are being inspired and influenced by these people. So instead of putting 90% of our media dollars into like TV spots and out of home or whatever it may be, we at Puma, we do 0 TV spots. We don't do TV. We are investing in partnering and collaborating with people because we're seeing that makes a really big difference and has an influence on. So I feel like it's a little bit of a different spin. Obviously, we're reaching consumers everywhere else. We do a ton of paid social. We're doing a lot organically. We're trying to create heat and hype around our products and our partnerships. But I feel like you have to think about what is going to influence a consumer and figure out those tactics. It makes a pretty big difference.
I mean, I think, was it Dave, you said, like, where did Jay-Z go to college? And I mean, who is the Jay-Z at your university? There is somebody that people look up to that can carry your message and your brand and inspire others and engage people in ways that maybe we're not doing there. I don't want to interrupt, but.
No, I think that's an important point. So like the way that we think about it is the number one thing we can do is show other people we market to people, and so our brand is all about faces, it's about being authentic, it's about being real. I hope that I feel the same if I'm speaking on stage, as I'm in my kitchen at home, as I'm on a podcast, as I'm writing emails. Like, we want to build a connection that is real and authentic and human because people are just more skeptical than ever, right? Listen to what Mike Troiano said. People know when that phone rings, they know what it's for, and so we're all more skeptical than ever. So if you can build a relationship with somebody, that's really important. So everything we do is all about people first, and that's everything from like the design we use. We don't use stock photos anymore. We only use pictures of our customers or people that work at Drift because we want you to feel like that's real. It's really us. Everything, we copy edit everything to be like, does this sound like I would say it out loud? We just beat on that over and over and over. I had somebody new on my team join yesterday, and he wrote something last night, and I said, look, this looks great, but read this to me out loud. And he like cringed because he would never say that out loud. And so everything is about being human because of the way that people are shifting to buy today. I think that's the same approach where me as a buyer, I don't care what a salesperson tells me, or somebody else tells me. I want to know who, like me, is also doing that thing. And so I think that works for Puma. I think it works, at a university, somebody who went to HBS who's done something that connects with me. It's all about people for me today.
And when you're talking about like being conversational in your communications, I can't tell you how many times that I wrote robust annual fund when I was marketing the annual fund, and I would never say that out loud, and I feel guilty for having written that. When I was doing that. But it's all about like also keeping that person in mind. And I know like, Wayfair, you're talking to so many different types of people,
Yep.
so many different buyers. And so what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, so dovetailing on what Dave was saying, we take a diversified approach to who, the different channels that we're using to talk to our customers. And then the storytelling aspect really comes through, if we know we can reach new customers on TV or through direct mail, there's a certain message that she wants to hear that drives her to site. And we're incredibly ROI focused, so we really care about that person sort of engaging with the ad and coming to site right away. And if it's not working, we'll pivot our storytelling strategy. But we are definitely creating different stories for different parts of the funnel, and then taking a very diversified approach as to what channels are actually going to drive engagement.
I mean, and how does it look for you guys in terms of ROI and driving engagement?
In terms of ROI?
Or, well, you look like you're going to say something.
I was going to say something. I was thinking about, I think this is what I wanted to say earlier. One thing that we do is we try to think about how can we give people all of the information they need about us without having to talk to anybody at our company. I think that's really important because I think most people, what they want to do is they want to close everything off and say, you got to talk to me. But if you think about the way that you communicate with people, oftentimes the last place you go for an answer today is somebody's website, right? Like the last place I'm going to go is Puma.com. I'm going to see Instagram. I'm going to talk to somebody else. I'm going to see somebody else wearing them. And so I think we, as a business, we've shifted to say, you know what, we got to create this stuff everywhere. And so we now know that the people that actually are on our website are the people who are there for a reason. So we think of like our marketing team should actually be our best sales team because we're creating, blog posts, videos, guides, events, webinars, Facebook Live. We're creating all the stuff so people can find out everything they need to know about us without actually having to talk to somebody at the company because none of us want to deal with that. I know when I get on the phone, like in my world, I get sold stuff all the time. And I know when I get on the phone, they don't care about me at all. This is somebody who has another call to make in 30 minutes and they got to hit some number for the day and move on, right? And so usually I can figure out everything I need without having to talk to that person.
On the flip side, the home category is incredibly emotional, and so what we've found is people really do want to talk to a customer service rep and get advice and confidence in their purchase. So we've actually been able to use, our brand ambassadors and our service ambassadors to help engage with people, particularly new folks that have never shopped with Wayfair before.
Yeah, let's actually talk about ambassadors for a little bit because as in higher ed, we all have ambassadors, whether they're officially, like these are our social ambassadors, these are our class agents, these are our trustees and our volunteers, or unofficial where you have somebody like me. I went to Ithaca College, absolutely love it. I think everyone should go, but if everyone did go, it would ruin the small school feel. So you just send your kids, it's great. But what am I talking about? Ambassadors. So talk about how you're empowering ambassadors to speak on your behalf.
Yeah, so on the Wayfair side, we've done similar to Anne, where we've leveraged celebrities and influencers to speak on behalf of Wayfair and the value that we can bring to a customer. But what we've found is that UGC is actually very, very effective. And what I mean by that is user-generated content. People love to see other people's homes. Like, they love to be inspired by real-life, authentic pictures of homes versus flipping through, say, a Restoration Hardware catalog where everything looks perfect and not real. And so we've been leaning more heavily on leveraging our loyal customer base to speak on our behalf.
So I think I forgot to say where I went to school.
Yeah.
Courtney's going to kill me, but I went to Bowdoin College. I'm very proud. I would say 2 words is lifelong friends. Wonderful, wonderful place. But anyway, sorry.
No, that's good. Thank you for bringing it back.
Forgot about that. Very important. We obviously leverage influencers, celebrities, consumers on a regular basis, and I would say it's really a core component of our marketing strategy. But I think something that is very important is that consumers have such a strong bullshit filter. Like, they know when a brand is just paying someone $5 million to wear their product and it feels unauthentic. Everything that we try to do authentically. So instead of just having Rihanna wear our clothes, we created a collection with her. We let her decide what she was interested in and created her own shoes and her own apparel. And it was pretty different than the rest of our product, but it was because it was what was true to her, and I felt like that resonated with our consumers so much more. So you have to also be cognizant of the fact that, like, kids are smart. they know when a brand is just trying to bullshit them, and you have to make sure that you're doing things that feel authentic to your partners. And that's something that we try to do. Even with our social influencers on Instagram, we try to, work with them, to support them, to do things that are just beyond just paying them to post a picture of them wearing our sneakers.
One thing I think is worth mentioning that I think about a lot, I just want to say it in front of this crowd, is like, it's really easy to write off our lessons and advice as like, oh, we're not in the same industry, it doesn't apply. But I think like the key to any good marketing and sales strategy is really understanding consumers, and that's obviously what Wayfair does really well and Puma does really well. It's about people. We're all people, right? I buy stuff for my home, I buy stuff for work, I do stuff for my school. Like, we're all people. And so if you can, I look at, even though we have nothing to do with consumer brands like Puma and Wayfair, I study consumer brands all the time because they are doing things that nobody in our space is doing. And so we're trying to think of how can we learn lessons from what Puma is doing with influencers and bring that to B2B, because nobody else is doing that. And at the core of that is people and how people behave online. So I think even if you only get one or two things from this session, I think it's really important to take away, like, how can I better understand people? And I study, my wife loves like beauty blogs and these makeup videos on YouTube. And I study them because they have tens of millions of views. There's so many hooks and triggers in all these videos. And I want to steal that stuff and bring it back to marketing at Drift because nobody else in our industry is doing that.
Let's pick up that thought in just 1 second. I am looking at my phone, not because I'm like doing
looks
other
like Twitter,
things, but I'm checking Twitter. So if you have a question for the panel, we'll have some Q&A at the end, but you can sneak in early by using hashtag #RAISE2018, okay? So follow along there. How do you better understand the consumer or better understand your audience? What are some of the ways that you know who you're talking to?
So we're incredibly data-driven. We really dive into the data to understand, again, what stories is she reacting to and in what mediums and what formats, and then we pivot accordingly. I can't stress enough, data can be very overwhelming. You don't know what to do with it. You don't know where to start, but even just doing like basic customer segmentation, it doesn't need to be 100 of them. It can be 4 segments, and how do those segments, what are the behaviors that those segments have, and how do you influence them in different ways? That's really what we're very, very focused on at Wayfair.
So digging into the data and really analyzing that.
Yep.
So I would say we're not super data-driven, so opposite, but that's fine. I think there's value in both methods and probably in between too. At least from a digital marketing side, we try to listen to our consumers. So we have a really strong community management team that is listening to what people are saying online. We're looking at responses to our Instagram posts. We're seeing which products people like, what they don't. We're seeing what influencers or celebrities they think resonate with our brand or not. We're inviting them to events. We're talking to them. We're running focus groups. So I think really trying to make the brand feel conversational and part of their life, they're able to kind of relate a little bit more. And so I think that is helpful because we can listen. We do a lot of kind of social listening around product launches or whatever it may be that helps us kind of shift and pivot our marketing depending on what we're hearing.
I think for us, the easiest one and the hardest one that most people don't do is actually get out there and talk to people. I know for me, like, I love events and that we run, and even getting on a plane and going and visiting customers, because I think visiting 5 real customers in person, I come back with pages and pages of notes. There's just something different that I don't see in our website analytics or our data. The other thing that we do a lot is just, if we have ideas for something, it's so easy to test something on social media. So one little trick that I do a lot is I'll record a video and I'll post it on LinkedIn or Twitter or Instagram, and I'll say the thing that I'm gonna go write hey, I've been thinking a lot about writing a blog post about why XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Comment here if you wanna be the first to get it. And if nobody comments, then I don't write that post. But if everybody comments, then not only do I think that that's a good test, because now I think people are interested in it, but now I already have a list of people that I can go and reach out to who are interested in that thing. And so I think social media is amazing, not just for the conversations, but you can test a lot of your ideas early on if you're just not afraid to let other people take them. And don't be, because most people that see it are not going to actually go and steal it and do anything about it.
I'm going to try something, and it either gives us a goal for the next year or a challenge to continue doing the same thing. How many people in the room have had a personal conversation with somebody at Evertrue in person, on the phone, or via email that you can remember?
Nice.
That's pretty
Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, I would love to see everybody in the room, but like one of the things that love about working at this company and working in this industry is we all get to talk to each other and we get to share, and that's really why we do Raise. So you get to meet and hear from each other, and we get to talk to you, and you get to talk to each other, and you develop these like friendships and relationships that continue on, and so the learning doesn't stop. But as a company, I mean, one of the things that we do is try to talk to customers and get as much customer feedback as possible, because everybody in this room, knows what they need and how to get to the next level, from their technology. And by sharing that with us, it allows us to help build that. And then my role is to just talk about it and spread the word. So we're going to try to make sure that's 100% when I ask that question next year. Question from Twitter. Pat asks, what are some tactics for recruiting, harnessing, activating non-paid, non-celebrity influencers or brand champions? So how do you enable Joe Schmo?
So we have an advantage, but we send them shoes. So we love to give away free product because we create brand advocates. Getting a pair of shoes in the mail goes a really long way. We gift and seed product so much, and it makes such a big difference. And so I know you guys can't necessarily do shoes, but there's probably some things that you can do that makes a big difference. It really does go a long way.
Emily from Cornell, are you going to be sending Mike a big red notebook?
I wrote it down in my notebook.
Perfect. Awesome.
That's
you have
great.
notebooks, you have pennants, you have sweatshirts.
But seriously, people lose their minds over T-shirts. I don't understand it. T-shirts and stickers, and so like maybe you don't have sneakers to send out, but go spend $5,000 on a bunch of T-shirts. And so something that we do is everybody, like I have the person on our team who owns social media. Once a week, she just goes through our Twitter feed and grabs like 25 people that mention Drift with doesn't matter if they have 17 followers or 17,000, and she sends them a handwritten note, a bunch of stickers, and a Drift T-shirt, and it just says like, hey, thanks for the love on Twitter. We appreciate you, whatever.
I'm tweeting at Drift.
You must
right
not
now.
pass the threshold. The lead scoring is different. I didn't know you were over there.
Along those same lines, we send thank you cards to our customers, handwritten notes. We refer to our customer as Sheila. She's typically 50 years old, and so when you walk around the Wayfair office, we're always talking about Sheila. Yeah. But Sheila loves a thank you, and we started this program maybe 6 or 8 months ago, and it's really simple, and we've productionized it, but like a thank you note goes a really long way.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. Emily just asked, how do you, like the segment of one, how are you personalizing outreach to Sheila, to your target audience, and how do you scale that?
I think a lot of people get caught up on how to scale it versus doing it the right way. And I think the one-to-one personal outreach never fails. But nobody wants to do it because they get more caught up in thinking about how is this going to scale than actually doing the one-to-one stuff. And so for us, like one-to-one has never, we say it to everybody that joins our company, one-to-one, we call it hand-to-hand, one-to-one. It's never failed, but nobody wants to do it. I promise you, I will hire a team of 5 interns and have them only send personalized handwritten notes because it works every time. The one thing that doesn't work every time is the personalized email that actually screws up my name, pulls in the wrong thing. Like that stuff still happens, right? We have a team of 15 marketing people. We still screw that up. But the one thing that doesn't fail is the one-to-one personalized stuff. So I don't have a way to scale it, but I just know that every time you do it, it works. So I would be thinking about how can I invest in that or create a culture of everybody does that.
Cool.
I also think it comes down to like, who actually needs the one-to-one connection. It's not every single donor or every single customer you have, so that like automatically dwindles down the list a bit. And so for us, we recognize when people are about to place a very large order, or they may be emailing our customer service reps a lot. That's when our specialized service team will pick up a phone and say, hey, looks like you need some help. What can I do for you? So again, it's like segmenting out who really requires that one-to-one connection such that you can scale.
Awesome. Well, I've learned a lot. This has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to take so much back with me on Monday when I get back to the office. And thank you very much, Dave, Ann, and Courtney for being here. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you very much.